welcome fans to the second off-season episode of Rangers Ed. This is your host, Cousin Ed, with my co-host, Little Ed. What's up, bud?
How we doing? A little sad day for the Wet Bandits. We our championship run came to an end last night. Lost in the semifinals.
It was playoffs already?
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Yeah, 10-game season and then playoffs.
Wow, I feel like you guys just won.
I know. Flew by.
I got to lay off the payoff.
Wait, you got a 10-game regular season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 10 games, right, Mike?
How do you even?
I think so.
How do you
10 or
even
9,
seed,
yeah.
How do you even seed a playoff bracket in 10 games?
Yeah, it was a little confusing this season because they combined the two divisions for the regular season and then they split them back up for the playoffs. So we didn't think we made the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, I had to check the website for something else, and I saw that we made it. So, that was pretty shocking. So it was pretty cool that we had the opportunity to go for the three-peat, but we came up short. Me and Mikey Produci's line did our job. I had 2 goals. Mikey had some solid Mikey forechecks to create some turnovers. So that was nice. So we did our part, but it's a team game, and we came up a little short. So
the coach had chuckle. I can't tell if he's just laughing at Mike.
I'm serious. He was going in
I'm
hard.
a role player. Yeah. I know my role. I know my job.
He's like the Sean Avery of the Wet.
Yeah,
I have to try to make a couple of these games in the next season.
You should. Everyone has improved drastically. So Mikey forechecked into the right corner. The defenseman coughed the puck up the wall. I believe Skanky got it on the wall and dished it to me in the slot, and I sniped over the goalie's glove. So it was a very nice line all-around team play. But like I said, we came up short, so hopefully the Bandits come back strong next season.
All right, it happens, but you got your Panthers jersey up in the background. They're playing right now. Game 3, Panthers, Golden Knights, 1-1 after 1. You guys order your Sorrentos?
I did not order Sorrentos tonight, but I wanted to give them a shout out because we did have it for Mother's Day. I threw up a nice reel. What was that, Monday, I think, or Tuesday, and got a lot of buzz around Instagram. So if you guys haven't been out to Sorrentos, to the actual store, if you just order it or whatever, go down to the shop. It's a nice little environment down there. They usually got some live music and things like that. So, and if you haven't seen the reel yet, head over to the Instagram and check that out.
Hands down, probably the best pizza I've had.
You can't beat it. You can't.
I really can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, what intrigues me is I got to get over there, obviously in Miami, the whole butcher shop part of it that you guys told me about. I was in shock because when I heard of Sorrentos, I was like, oh, it's just a pizzeria. But no, it's not.
No, it's more than that. They don't even have pizza out in, on the counter or anything like a normal pizzeria does. So they make each pizza to order. It's fully custom, whatever you want, whatever toppings. I actually popped open my freezer the other night and I found some slices wrapped in tinfoil. Threw those in the air fryer. Oh man, it was I got it yesterday. It was perfect. It was phenomenal.
Right.
So even Sorrentos, I don't know. That was probably in the freezer since game 1 of the playoffs with the Rangers. It was the chicken a la vodka slices. One? Yeah, and it was fine. It was perfectly fine.
They found it buried in there under the chicken. Oh my God.
3 slices.
What is this?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Sorrentos is top notch. Like I said, fully custom. They got a ton of toppings. Recently we tried the Mike's Hot Honey with ricotta cheese.
Ooh, that is smoking.
Yeah. Yep. That was something else. So
they also have that whole wall. They also have the whole wall of the condiments, the stuffed olives, the hot peppers in the jar, all the
homemade pastas, raviolis, things like that. Yep.
Awesome. Coach, I see that's Coach Ed over there for those of you that are new to the podcast. He's got the Florida Panthers comforter. So I'm the one that gets made fun of all the time for collecting and keeping everything.
You have a storage unit just for your collectibles.
He has a 30-year-old comforter with a Florida Panthers jersey on it. Come on. What do you got?
Old school Florida Panthers jersey.
Yeah, what do you have that for?
This was Eddie's comforter when he was a little kid.
No Rangers, so the John Tavares pictures and the Leafs comforter, Eddie's would be in Panthers.
Well, he had the, Van Beesbrook when they went to the finals in 90. What was it? 93. We're talking about.
When Beezer got picked from the Rangers by the Panthers.
Yeah. So that
no,
was
no,
the whole
I like the
dynamic of
Panthers.
that.
No, I liked them too as a kid. But I'm just saying. If
I think
Eddie
I
was in
just
the
really
NHL
like the logo and everything.
Hold on, if you were in the NHL in this hypothetical world, you're in the NHL and you're a free agent, you sign with the Panthers. That picture of you laying in bed with that Panthers comforter,
yep,
it's all over Instagram.
Picture would
Hometown
probably be on my
discount.
parents' floor for sure. And I also remember specifically, I was really obsessed. I remember being obsessed with his mask, like with the panther on it and like his
That was a sick mask.
mouth open or whatever. I remember specifically loving that. And I remember having the poster. We probably still have it in the attic. But the poster had like two like panther eyes, like on the top, like huge, like yellow eyes. And you couldn't see anything else but the eyes. And I remember making Coach Ed fold the eyes down behind it, so I couldn't see them like at night. I was petrified. So like 3/4 of the poster was hung up on the wall, and like we didn't cut it. There's no way I would have let them cut it, but they just folded it down so I couldn't see it. So those are my memories of the Panthers for sure. Yeah,
hilarious. No, I think we all like the Panthers. They had a cool logo, and it was cool.
It was a good expansion team in the '90s when we were young and hockey fans.
Yeah, but we also have the Beezer signed picture on the plaque.
Somewhere. We have something somewhere for sure.
I got to try to dig that out
Coach?
somewhere.
I think that might have been in my old bedroom, so it might be in one of those boxes.
I got a Beezer autograph on a Ranger picture, not on a Panther picture, but I do have that. I also remember Jovanowski. Obviously, I was a huge Jovanowski fan, and he was a Panther. So yeah, I
remember
definitely like the
screen name was Jovo Cop.
Right. Yeah. But was it screen name? Oh my God.
Yep.
Was it AIM or something? Like,
yeah, it was your AIM screen name. It was Jovo Cop 55. I was like,
good God.
Classic.
Good God. How do you even remember that?
I don't know. I remember weird stuff like that, dude. AIM was a big part of my growing up, whatever.
AIM didn't come out till I was like in high school.
Yeah.
I was like almost in high school when AIM came out. Before that, I just had the dial-up AOL that opened up as like its own program. It was like a remote server opening up. It was so crazy. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Mikey Produces over there, that shiny bald head. What's up, buddy?
Not bad. Actually needs a shave, but I'm doing good. I'm excited for this episode. I feel like I'm actually happy for this one. So.
No, I feel like I was going to say it looks like a fresh shave. You're saying you need a shave. I'm glad I didn't say it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to look close.
Well, it looks like he used some Mad Rabbit tattoo bomb on his head. He doesn't have any tattoos on his head.
It does. It does. I mean, maybe it's just the lighting and the sweat instead.
Before we move on with the episode, I'm going to have to use some of the Mad Rabbit tattoo and make my tattoo look like Mikey's head over there. Nice and shiny. Brings the ink out. Brings the shine and makes your tattoo look brand new again. And we're lucky enough to be Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aid's newest ambassadors. So head on over to madrabbit.com and place your order and use code EDPOD. I think last week I might have said EDPOD23, so that was a mistake. It's definitely only EDPOD. So EDPOD to get your Mad Rabbit bomb. I mean, like I said last week.
Spell that again.
EDPOD. EDPOD.
Well, I always
I've been using it for years, and they popped up that they were taking ambassador applications, so I wouldn't apply if I didn't trust the company. So it's actually really good stuff. They have sunscreen and also numbing cream if you're getting a new tattoo. So I'm gonna have to get that for cousin Ed for when he gets his tattoo.
No, I'm saying I was gonna say that stuff is important actually because it's been a while since I got a tattoo, but if you don't use that especially right after you get it, you need like that lotion on the tattoo daily, sometimes even every couple hours. So if you get a fresh tattoo, definitely go to Mad Rabbit and get it. But it looks like
they have
even the old
stuff.
tattoos, it brings it out,
Well, they have separate stuff for when you first get a tattoo. And then that's has probably some medicine in it or whatever, like Neospore or Bacitracin. The stuff that I'm using right now is just like the older tattoo, just like the aftercare, long-term care, whenever you want type stuff. So I throw it on when I get out of the shower at night before we go to bed, let it soak in, and keeps it fresh.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I was just saying what I made the joke about spelling it because you guys ever go to like Starbucks and they ask you your name and you're just like Ed? I don't know if you say Eddie. I say Ed usually. So I'm like Ed. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, dude, it's 2 letters. Like,
Yeah.
is that it's like, it's
Or
not like I said.
Or they'll spell Eddie, E-D-Y or E-D-D-Y or something, which isn't
No,
uncommon.
what's your name? Ed?
Like,
What?
That's cute.
What? Ed. E-D. Like, it's the easiest name in the language. Anyway.
and by the way, check out the podcast, Rangers.
Yeah. So anyway, today we got a good episode of Positive One. It's our season awards. So every year we give out awards for different categories. So I'll introduce the award and I'll introduce what the award is supposed to mean, and we'll all make our picks. I'll even let you know who we picked in 2021 and 2022. And then we'll talk about the pending free agents the Rangers have, whether we think they should stay or go. And I'm going to try to do it by making Coach Ed stay within the salary cap. Last year, I gave a listen. If you guys want to listen, episode 71, I gave a listen, and Coach Ed had a lot of trouble staying within the salary cap. But we'll see if he can do it this year.
I think I did too.
Yeah, you both wanted to sign everybody, but we'll figure it out. So let's start. Let's start the awards. We're going to start in the back.
You're muted.
I'm muted?
No, Coach is. Now you're good.
Yeah, I know. I
What did
saw
you
it.
say?
No, I'm saying we're going to start in the back of the packet, Coach. The back of the packet.
Well,
So
the packet's all out of order, so just say what it is. And
It's a little out of order, so you're going to have to find it. We're going to start with the Mats Zuccarello Teammate of the Year Award, given to the player who keeps the room light and the energy positive in the locker room. We're going to start there, and we're going to make this one sponsored by Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey, our number one teammate, always there for us, especially at the live show. Oscar came through big time, coming through with everybody's jerseys except mine. But you know, there's always that one teammate that you got to give shit to, right? So that's me for Oscar. But anyway, Oscar, check him out at Oscar's PSH on Instagram. Definitely making those threads. All right. So, Coach.
Before you guys go into it, we got little intros for every award. Just so you know.
This is a surprise for me. I
Yeah.
see this.
So
one.
if you guys check it out on YouTube, if you're only listening,
Look at that picture. Where did you find that?
can you leave them up for longer?
Where
I
did you
can't.
find
No,
that
they're
photo?
only that short.
Zuki, I miss Zuki, man. He'll be back before his career is over. He'll be back. All right. Teammate of the Year Award. Let's start with Coach Ed. Last year, Coach Ed took Barclay Goodrow as Teammate of the Year, and the year before that, Brendan Smith. Coach, who you got this year as your Teammate of the Year?
I got Goody again, back to back.
Goody with the back-to-back.
Always
right.
there for the teammates, either to chuck some knucks or make a hit. Some good assists. He's just we talked about it all season. To me, a consummate team player.
Yeah, like the pick. All right, let's go to Mikey. Last year, Mike, you missed the awards, but the year before that, you also took Brendan Smith. So who you got this year as your Teammate of the Year?
Going with somebody that you didn't like pretty much all season because he was getting first line minutes, but I'm giving this award to Jimmy VC. I feel like going up and down the lineups, he was the man all year. I feel like everyone loves Jimmy V. So great teammate. I would love to play with him as well.
Yeah, like that pick. Little Ed, last year you took Ryan Reeves. The year before that, Pavel Bushnievich. Who you got this year?
I'm going with Yaroslav Don't Lock the Door because I feel like he got a lot of the Broadway hats. He always stepped in when he was needed, threw up a big game for the boys, and it seemed like he had a lot of fun doing it, had a lot of fun in the locker room, and I feel like it was just always on Instagram or always just floating around of when he was getting the Broadway hat. It seemed like the boys loved him, and he was always keeping it light, like you said, in the locker room, and Just seemed like a good teammate. He easily could have not demanded more playing time or wanted more playing time as a veteran. That obviously didn't bother him. And yeah, like I said, he just seemed like he was having a good time every time he was on camera.
Yeah, I like the pick. I didn't go that way, but I like the pick because Halak last year I had a huge issue with Georgiev. You guys know that. Huge, picked him for worst player of the year. And a part of it was like when he wouldn't play and they'd win, he almost didn't look like he was happy. And I think that affects the whole team, So seeing Halak embrace that backup role, I like the pick. I think that's a good one. I felt like he, genuinely rooted for Shesterkin, and that helps the whole team. But I went with Ryan Lindgren. I just look at Lindgren as a guy where, like, when Lindgren scores and you look at the team, that's how you know he's a good teammate, right? Like the whole team is smiling and jumping up and down and is happy for him. When he doesn't play, it impacts the so much. So I went with Lindgren. I think he's a great teammate and definitely a guy that you want on your, you want there next to you if you're going to war. So we got Lindgren, Halak, VC, and Gaudreau, all good picks. Let's go to our next award. I'll let Mikey get it up, so I'll say it slow so he has time to pick it. The Dan Girardi Surprise of the Year Award, given to the player who you did not expect to perform as well as they did in 2022-2023. Girardi, remember, was undrafted and made his way up to first pairing defense on a cup team. Obviously, they didn't win. They went to the finals, so bit of a surprise career for him, aptly named. We'll start with Little Ed on this one. Last year, Little Ed, you took Chris Kreider with his 50-goal season. The year before that, you took Capo Caco. Who you got this year?
This year, I'm going with Jimmy Vesey. I think he surprised all of us. Like Mikey just said, he got those first line minutes. He put up some points early. He put up some points as a third liner, as a fourth liner, some shorthanded points here and there. And then he signed an extension midway through the season to get that monkey off his back, and he played really well the rest of the way. So, got to give him some love.
Yeah, VC, remember, started the year on a PTO, parlayed that into a minimum deal, and parlayed that into a 2-year extension, even though not big money, reestablishing himself as a quality NHL player. I like the pick. All right, Mikey. Last year, again, you missed the awards, but the year before that, you also took Capo Caco. Who you got this year?
I know he didn't play the full season with us, but I think he surprised a lot of us. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Nico Mikkola.
Nice.
Like I said, I know it's a little recency bias, but I think he, came on and just did exactly what he was supposed to do. So
make sure you talk a little louder. Coach is busy shuffling papers over there. She's shredding.
How many pages you got over there? You got a lot of notes?
You got to go double-sided, Coach, next time. I'll teach you how to do that.
Coach, last year you had Chris Kreider also with his 50-goal season. The year before that, Colin Blackwell. Who you got this year?
I went with VC as well for the reasons that he stated. I like the way and all those things you said, that how he persevered. His career could have pretty much been over. He could have been playing in Europe this year, and he stuck it out. He worked hard, and he definitely showed he's got the ability to play as a third or fourth liner at least in the NHL.
Yeah, I like VC there. I took Philip Hedl. Hedl scored 8 goals last year and then comes in this year, 22 goals, 23 assists. I mean, that's a big jump. I had last year going into the season, I thought he was going to break out. I predicted him to score 25 goals. Wrong. It happens, like all my predictions. But this year I was a little surprised. He got hot. He was unstoppable for a period. And I just think
he had
really
2
happy.
or 3 of those periods, I feel like.
Yeah, where everything went in for him for 2 or 3 periods, and then he was pretty cold beyond that. But
that's the issue.
A little more consistency from him next year, and maybe he gets to 30, So it's possible. He's my surprise of the year. He also earned himself a nice extension with his play.
Maybe he'll be another one that he doesn't have to worry about his contract anymore.
Right. Well, that can cut both ways. So
yeah, it's true.
We'll see. All right. So the Steve Vickers Rookie of the Year Award, which is given to the rookie who most impacted the Rangers roster for that season. We're going to skip that this year. We only had 3 eligible rookies, none of which played more than 28 games. Nobody finished the season on the rookie roster. Sorry, I have to yell over Coach flipping papers. I'm going to try and yell a little louder.
Right next to his microphone.
Come on, Coach.
Move your papers. What are the others?
Mute yourself, Coach.
Or that. That'll work too. This is what we hear, Dad.
All right. Let's
How come I don't hear it?
Because you don't get the double feedback of yourself talking.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Well, you should apologize to the listeners in their car.
Sorry, people. Sorry for my ineptitude.
At least Coach was prepared tonight. That's all it matters.
My ineptitude. Oh, geez. All right. Let's go to the next award.
Listen, I had a long day in the city and the smoke got to me. You know what I mean?
This is true.
That smoke is crazy, man.
Yeah, shout out to all our fans in New York. Seriously, be careful. I mean, it's it is a serious situation. So
how bad is it?
I got the black lung.
Yeah.
Yesterday was pretty bad. I mean,
yeah, it was interesting. It looked like everything was just an Instagram filter.
It was definitely interesting, but come on, closing school. Give me a break.
If you live in the New York area, wear a mask and you'll be fine. From what I read, it's
equivalent.
Yeah, but what I read, it's equivalent to smoking like 6 cigarettes in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's not that many.
I think we'll survive. But anyway, Steve Vickers award off the table. What's next, guys?
All right, so the next award, the Jesper Fast Key Contributor of the Year Award, sponsored by our friends at Bella Italia Marble and Stone, because they're the key contributor when you're looking for home renovations. Given to the player with the best intangibles that positively impact the roster. Aptly named after Jesper, even though he had that bad ending with the Rangers. Doesn't take away what he did with the team. Okay, Mikey. Last year,
he had a good player, and he had a good playoffs this year.
Yeah, and he showed in the playoffs this year, again, why he is a key contributor for this, unfortunately now for Carolina, although he is a free agent. So we'll see what happens with Jesper. But Mikey, last year, again, you missed the awards. Before that, you took Pavel Buchnevich, my boy, in 2020, 2021. So who you got for this season?
When I saw the outline, delirious? I was definitely trying to make Cousin Eddie feel good or something like that. This year I'm going to give it to Vincent Trocheck. He came onto the team kind of seamlessly. He definitely improved us in our face-off percentage. I know he really wasn't present during the playoffs, but I think throughout the whole year, he had a good attitude and really contributed to the team and their success.
Yep. I like to remember these are regular season awards. If it was playoff awards, we wouldn't be having this episode.
That's true. Yeah. Except for Igor, he'd be getting everything.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go next to Coach Ed. Last year, you took Alexis Lafreniere. The year before that, Capo Caco. So who you got this year as your key contributor award? I don't know. This is who we picked.
It's what? What's the matter?
So who you got this year?
You picked Lafayette and Caco the last 2 years?
You did.
I think you got that wrong.
Get our boy on it. Get our boy Joey on it.
Yep.
I'm going to give it to Lindy. I'm giving it to Ryan Lindgren.
Yep.
Respect.
Yep.
Game in and game out again. Like Barclay Goodrow comes to play 110% every game.
So Coach has given out 3 awards so far, fans. Barclay Goodrow, Jimmy Vesey, and Ryan Lindgren. Tell me that's not a Coach Ed roster so far.
Got to have those guys on the team if you want to be a championship team.
No, I know. These are the awards.
Vegas.
I'm just teasing you, man. All right, I'm going to go next.
I'm not getting mad.
I know. I'm gonna go next, and I'll leave Little Ed for last. So last year I took Lindgren, and the year before that I took Chris Kreider. I'm giving it to Jimmy VC this year. I think in his role with the team, he fits solidly in as a bottom six and a PKer. He just did a great job in his role. He had more takeaways than giveaways, which is more than you can ask for a guy making $800K. So very happy with VC in a bottom six role. I think he may end up getting more top 6 minutes next year. We'll see with the cap. But I went with VC. Little Ed. Last year you took Barclay Goodrow. Year before that, Blackwell. Who you got this year?
I'm going with Lindy. All the same reasons Coach said pretty much. When he's not in the lineup, it truly shows. And when he's in the lineup, it truly shows. He does everything for the boys and he does everything for the team. And he contributes in every way he can. Whatever he's asked to do, he does.
Yeah, no, you can't argue with Lindy, Goody, VC. All those guys could be the key contributor of the year, and it's fine, So
And he makes Adam Fox. He's the Batman to Adam Fox's Robin.
All right, let's move on to the next award. So we got a few left. We'll go to the Mark Messier Leader of the Year Award, given to the player who exhibits the greatest leadership qualities on the team. Last year, it was interesting. I went back to the episode, and there was no captain announced. We had 6 assistant captains last year. So I think it was a little bit interesting last year. This year, we have Jacob Trouba as the captain. So I'm curious. Let's see if we all go Trouba or if maybe an assistant is there. So I'll start. Last year, I took Chris Kreider. The year before that, I took Jacob Trouba. This year, I did take Jacob Trouba. I think the incident against Chicago, that really turned the whole season around. To me, that's the biggest play of the moment of the year. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it didn't turn into playoff success, but I went with the captain, Trouba. Little Ed. Last year for you, Chris Kreider. The year before that, Brendan Smith. Who you got this year?
Brendan Smith.
Well, he was our biggest leader.
I remember that.
That's how recent we were rebuilding with no leadership.
Yeah, for real. I'm going with, like you said, Trouba. Yeah, for the Chicago incident. No secret there. But other than that, he was a great leader. I mean, I think there was rumors. It finally came out that he was injured in the beginning of the season, and he stuck with it. He wasn't going to sit out. He was going to play through the injury and be a captain. And it would have been tough if the Rangers named him captain, and then all of a sudden he wasn't playing for like a month or 2 months. So I think that was big that he stuck with it, and he set the tone early, and then even more so with the helmet throw.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's an easy call. Mikey, in 2020, 2021, you took Chris Kreider. Who you got this year?
3 for 3. Jacob Trouba, for sure. For all the reasons you guys said.
Coach, last 2 seasons, you took Trouba both years. Did you make it 3 in a row, or you got somebody else?
We go with the hat trick.
Thought I was going to pick Igor or somebody.
Yeah.
Well, his whole attitude all year, especially we talked about that incident, and then when he scored against the Blackhawks, he wanted to give the guy the game puck. He had that little bit of an edge to him around the league, and stands up for himself when he has to, stands up for his teammates. You can't ask for much more than that, other than a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so let's take a break here. We got some news around the league this year with the head coach search. So there's only the Rangers and the Flames left without a head coach. I read today that the Rangers brought in John Hines for a second interview. So now they've interviewed Hines and Laviolette twice. Are we down to these 2, you think, Little Ed? This is it? Hines and Laviolette?
It seems to be the buzz, and I think, that's kind of what we were leaning towards last week as well. Seems like they're going with the experienced guy no matter what. There hasn't been any chit-chatter about Patrick Waugh or Knobloch anymore. Or I guess Patrick Waugh, they said, is definitely out. So there hasn't been any chit-chatter with Knobloch. So it seems like he's going to stay put with Hartford. And, I guess we'll see what shakes out. It's got to happen soon, right?
I mean, it's got to be like last year they hired Gallant on June 13th, I think. So we're getting close to that point. You want to hire your head coach before the draft. Coach Ed, I wanted to ask you. I read reported from the Post today that whoever the coach is going to be, all the assistants except for Benoit Allaire and the skills coach are going to be fired. So why
Who's
even
the
retain
skills
him in the
coach?
first place?
Who's
Mark
the skills
Chacho?
coach? Jed Ortmeyer?
No, he's the player development guy. The skills coach is Mark Chacho, who I have no idea who that is, but he's the skills coach.
He's the little guy. He has that MSG shorts.
Mike Concho.
Yeah.
They should hire Shrempy as the skills coach. You see those YouTube videos and
Ooh.
Instagram videos he posts?
Yeah, he's something else, man.
He'd be a good skills coach. Anyway.
Shrumpy's coming back on the show. Little teaser for the summer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got him coming up eventually. You guys will hear another interview, what he's up to. He's got my vote as the skills coach. But, Coach, I mean, if you're going to announce, like, why even retain the assistants? You know the head coach is coming in and bringing their own assistants. Like, it's definitely
Right.
happening.
You said that last week. I have no idea. Why didn't they just fire all of them at one shot? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the goalie coach, obviously. I mean, weird. But but
in that thing you sent out, it said that Benoit Allaire will probably stay. You said
no, he's staying.
He better stay.
He's the best goalie coach in the league. I mean, he's not going anywhere. We'll see. So it's really just
Jim Ramsey was the best trainer in the league.
I was just going to say.
Only according to Joe Micheletti and Sam Rosen. Like, what do we actually know about how good of a trainer he is? I mean, the only reason we think that is they say it every game. You know?
Maybe the head coach brings in his own trainer with him.
Never know.
Maybe the Coach Ed gets hired as the head coach in a surprise decision and brings on EA the PA as head trainer.
That's fine.
That's fine.
We're a package deal.
I'm so into that.
But anyway, we'll see if it's going to be Hines or Laviolette. It looks like it's down to those two, and you could throw Knobloch in there. I haven't heard much buzz on Jay Leach one way or the other. His name is popping up, but it's not looking like he's really a serious candidate. And like you said, Little Ed, it's been reported that Waz out, like he's not even in consideration. So who knows where they go with it. Hopefully in the next few days, we'll get a head coach. But all right, let's get back to the awards. So we got our big time awards left, the 4 remaining awards. Defenseman of the Year award, the Brian Leetch Award, given to the best all-around defenseman, not like the Norris Trophy, on the 22-23 New York Rangers. And you saw there picture of Brian Leetch with the Conn Smythe Trophy. Love that. All right, Little Ed, when Coach Ed is done flipping papers, the last
that one wasn't as bad.
The last 2 seasons, you picked Jacob Trouba. The last 2 seasons. So who you got this year?
This year, I'm going with Coach Ed's favorite, Baby Trouba,
Nice.
Brendan Schneider. Reason being, wait, did I say Brendan Schneider? Braden Schneider.
Brendan
Reason
Schneider
being,
is the actor.
Yeah, I think that's not the first time I've done
What's
that.
that movie where Elizabeth Hurley's the devil and he like sells his soul to like what's that movie called?
Oh
again?
my god, I love that.
And he
movie.
becomes the NBA player.
He's got like 9 wishes, yeah.
He's got a tiny penis as the NBA player. I can't Bedazzled.
Bedazzled.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. Anyway, sorry. Braden Schneider is your
Braden
pick.
Schneider.
I gotta hear why. Go.
I feel like he was probably one of, if not the most consistent defenseman the Rangers had throughout the whole year. He had a few different partners, and his play never really faltered or changed. I feel like he was just solid, throwing hits, continuing to improve his game. And I know we're not really supposed to talk about the playoffs, but I think he had an outstanding playoff as well. Very consistent. He threw up a few good stats. I think the one that we talked about was the even strength goals. I think him and Mikkola were like the lowest defensive on even strength goals. So I think he just played consistent, and I went a little off the board with that one.
You know, I have trouble picking a third pairing D as the best all around defenseman on the team. But, you know, Schneider is 21 years old. He was +9 this year. Scored 5 goals, pretty good as a third pairing D. And like you said, he really made that third pairing not so terrible. I hate to, for lack of a better word, right now at 9:55 p.m. He's just kept it solidified throughout the year. So okay, I can understand.
Well, I don't really pick it as all around defenseman. We could go into my thoughts on the Norris Trophy.
I defined the award for you, so that's your pick for all around defenseman.
It's all right.
The Norris Trophy is not. We know that's BS. They don't pick it that way. But this one you're supposed to. Coach Ed, best all-around defenseman.
He put up enough offense in my book.
The last 2 years you picked Adam Fox.
What did Keandre have? How many goals?
9 goals, 43 points.
He had 9?
It's pretty good. But I don't think he played good defensively.
Not as good as Schneider. I agree with you on that, but go ahead, Cuz. What were you going to say? Give me that intro again.
What is that noise? What are you doing over there? It sounds like you're like sanding a table while talking. Like, what the hell are you doing?
What is
I just see his arm going back and forth, and it's just like
see his arm going like this. Yeah, he's got the handheld sander. He's just going back and forth on the coffee table or something.
I feel bad for the people driving in their cars, but the YouTube listeners are gonna have a ball.
It's just so good. You can't make it up, Coach. We're busting your balls a lot. You picked Fox the last 2 years. Who you got this year?
I got the choo-choo train. I got to give it to Trouba all around. He made a lot of good, unfortunately, a lot of good shot attempts on net, but he didn't get that many goals. But I thought he played a real good season. I thought he played well defensively, even though he slumped a little bit. But I don't see him being the fault of their demise early in the season. But I like them all around this year.
I wonder if next year we need to rename the Brian Leetch Award to the best offensive defenseman, and then create a defensive defenseman award as well. I wonder if we need to do that. That's what we're saying. The NHL should do.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying the NHL should do it, but then we're doing the same thing that the NHL.
Well, actually, Leetch was both. Actually, Leetch was both. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But
I was talking to Uncle Rob about this the other day, because you sit there and he has people. He's up in Maine now, so he has a lot of Bruins fans with McAvoy. And you watch McAvoy, I watch a couple other guys. They make that sure pass, Darnell Nurse. They make that little 15-foot pass quick. But I remember Leetch. The one thing I remember about Leetch so much was he would beat one guy and then cross the blue line and make this pass.
Like Fox.
It wasn't like he just gave it up quick and moved it around the wall. Or whatever. He beat one guy, deked him, beat him, skated, and then made a play more often than not.
And that creates odd man rush.
That's a big difference in superstar status or top defenseman status, in my opinion.
I like that.
The skating ability. That's the one thing I really remember about him. It was good. Yeah, but anyway, incredible. I mean, I'm not going to compare Trouba. I'm not going to compare Trouba to Brian Leetch. I'm also not going to compare Fox to him, because Fox can't skate like Leetch did. Fox is great in other ways, but he's not an all-around guy like Leetch, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I took Fox, third year in a row. He's the Rangers' best defenseman, arguably their best player. He's nominated for another Norris Trophy. To me, it's a no-brainer. He's their best all-around defenseman. Mikey, last year you didn't get a pick. The year before that, you took Fox also. Who you got this year?
Yeah, I'm going with Fox as well. I'm not going to lie. This one was a little tough for me. I was going back and forth between Trouba, Fox, and I was even considering Miller. But, I mean, third on the team with points and everything that he's done. So, Fox man for me.
Keandre's on his way, though. He's on his way. He's getting there.
He's got to string together a consistent season. I thought he was going to have a breakout year, and he was a little bit disappointing. Just a little bit.
He did offensively. So now he's got to shore up that defensive side and just keep his offense, and He'll be a beast.
Yeah, but he's also, I mean, if he sticks with Trouba, Trouba kind of fills in that defensive stay at home, and then Keandre's kind of got to spread his wings a little bit. I don't really hate that either. Let Keandre take some chances.
Remember, Keandre had 43 points and barely played the power play. For a defenseman, that's amazing. I mean, Fox, Mike, look up how many power play points Fox had. He had 72 points this year. I bet you, 25, 30 of those points are power play points, right? So Keandre's there offensively. He's right there. What'd you say? What was that?
29.
29 power play points, right? Right in the wheelhouse, I said.
Yeah,
so.
I already have all their stats up for my awards.
Right. So that's a lot of PPP, and that's going to inflate your numbers a little. So he's on his way. All right.
Yeah, he should be on the second unit, without a doubt. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. The Adam Graves Forward of the Year Award to the best all-around forward on the team. Probably could give this award name to Messier also, but we already gave him the Leader of the Award and Leader Award. Graves could also be the Teammate of the Year Award. I mean, Graves could fill in Key Contributor Award.
Runs the gamut.
He could be the Surprise of the Year Award with his 50-goal season. I mean, he could be all these. So, Little Ed, last year, the Rangers Forward of the Year, the Adam Graves Award, he gave it to Mika Zibanejad. The year before that, Artemi Panarin. Who you got this season?
I'm going with Zibby again this year. I know he was second on the team in points, but he's just obviously a more all-around player than Panarin is, penalty kill and everything like that. So you got to go with Zibby. Him and Fox, I think, are arguably the two best players, without a doubt.
Yeah. So last year I took Kreider. The year before that I took Panarin. This season I'm taking Zibby as well. I think he's just our best forward at this point. And I mean, what do you have? 39 goals, 90 points as a centerman, two-way player. Like you said, Little Ed, he could, he should be in the Selke conversation. So I went with Zibby.
I think next year he will.
We'll see. Heeshier's already there, so I don't know.
That's insane. The fact that Heeshier's over is about whatever. Yeah.
Coach Ed, last year you took Chris Kreider as the Rangers' best all-around forward. The year before, Ryan Strome as the Rangers' best all-around forward. You've yet to take Zibanejad or Panarin as the Rangers' best all-around forward. Is this the year?
Panarin's definitely not the best all-around forward, so forget that.
Well, he was his first year here. I thought so.
I went with Troche.
And he continued the streak of middle six players getting best all-around forwards.
Well,
you want to give you want to back that up at all for the fans?
Face-offs, he had how many goals? 22 goals. He played a strong defensive role on a team on a line with Artemi Panarin for most of the season. I just felt that he is one of the best all-around forwards as far as 200 feet of ice. I'm not saying Mika's not, but maybe Mika got something else.
Oh, you're spreading the love. Why didn't you spread the love?
I got to give.
I spread a lot. That's what I did too.
I tried to, but I didn't do it for everyone. All right, Mikey. Last year, no one. The year before that, Ryan Strome.
You guys are gonna hate me. But I gave it to the Breadman. Led the team in points.
Led the team in points. Panarin. Can someone mute Coach when he's not talking?
You cannot deny his talent. You cannot deny his talent. I understand we get to see all his mistakes up front and close, but you cannot deny his talent. He might not be, the best in your opinion, but I think he deserves some love. 92 points isn't something to bat your eyes at. So,
Mike, I don't think that's as crazy as it sounds. It's hard because it's all around and his defensive game.
It's insane.
His giveaways. Panarin is one of the Rangers' most important players. I see a lot of fans saying trade Panarin. He's not a playoff guy, but look, if the Rangers are going to win a cup.
Didn't you say that?
No, I didn't. I said they should try to, but the reality is they're not going to be able to. So if the Rangers are going to win a cup, it's going to be because most likely, aside from the kids developing, Panarin buys into his system and plays a two-way game like he did his first year here, where I think all fans would agree he crashed the net. He was, not a liability. But, yeah, it's tough because his defense, Mikey. But give the love to the bread. I'm sure Bread needs it because he's getting a lot of hate out there.
I think he's
all right.
I think he'll respond well to a new coach, and I think this might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. He might snap out of it next year. We'll see.
Well, I don't think Coach has much faith in that. All right.
You picked Zibby, right, cuz?
I took Zibby, yes. All right. So now that leaves us with 2 awards left. Our MVP for the most valuable player and our Coach Ed's Copyright Doghouse Award for the worst or most disappointing player. So we're going to start with the MVP. We're going to end in Coach Ed's Doghouse. So we're going to start with the Rod Gilbert Most Valuable Player Award.
I know I have this somewhere.
Most valuable to the 2022-23 New York Rangers. I am not going to send any kind of outlines ever again that Coach Ed needs to print. My God. Get to the page and stop flipping the page.
Or after we're done with the award, throw the page away. You're only left with a few pages.
Oh, my God. All right.
That's the idea.
Let's start with Coach Ed so the pages stop flipping. Coach, MVP. Last year, you took Mika Zibanejad. This year before that, Artemi Panarin. Who you got this season for your most valuable player?
By far, Mika Zibanejad. Without them, center,
You going in and out of muteness, Coach?
How'd you mute yourself?
Now he mutes himself. And when he's flipping the pages, he's on full volume. When he's talking, he mutes himself.
What'd you say? Now he's muted again. What happened?
in the mic wire. I mean, Mika, you got power play, penalty kill, top minutes, just all around the most valuable player on the team.
Yeah, I agree. I took Mika too. Last year, I took Igor, who was the clear-cut MVP last year, even though Coach didn't take him. And then the year before that, Adam Fox. But this year, it's Mika's Zibanejad. Little Ed, who you got?
This was a tough one for me. I was going to go with Zibby, but I think I had to go with Igor. It starts in the net, and without Igor back there, I mean, sure, the Rangers could have another goalie, another top goalie around the league or something, but they drafted Igor, they brought him back, and you look around to all these other teams, like the missing piece is always the goaltender. The Oilers, even the Devils now, the Sabres, the Maple Leafs, the Sabres are looking for a goalie. The missing piece is always the goaltender, and the Rangers have spoiled us. We never have to worry about that position for the last 20 years, and hopefully long into the future. And I think without Igor, this team would be nowhere. And without Zibby, they'd be nowhere either. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Very true.
Remember also Igor, he had a newborn this year and played through that. That's not easy.
So maybe we got to give it to the nanny. The MVP is the nanny.
I know a lot of my friends who are lawyers. They have newborns and they struggle. I can't imagine the commitment of a professional athlete with a newborn. It must be very difficult. Mikey, last year, obviously, no pick for you. You were busy with more important things. But year before that, you took Artemi Panarin. Who you got this year?
I am giving it to Mika for sure. You guys hit on every point. I don't think the Rangers would be where they are without him. So Mika MVP for Mikey.
Yeah, it's tough to not give Igor an award, but there isn't an award here he fits into, unless I give him the Key Contributor Award.
He could have did that.
The MVP. I gave him
MVP. No, I know.
What's that noise now?
Is it
Not
me?
doing anything.
It's Coach. He's got the shower running in the background.
I had to mute him.
Oh my God. See, I just turned the
I'm
page.
muted.
I barely
Yeah.
heard it. His microphone wire.
Unplug your mic and
Fans.
plug it back in.
This
Call
is
Mikey.
This is the
Talk to Mikey.
professional. This is the professionalism of the Rangers Ed podcast on display here. It wouldn't be the same without the Coach Ed technical difficulties mid-episode, though. Like one day we won't have them, and we're gonna miss them. You know, so
Maybe when we have our studio set up. So anyway, what's next?
yeah. So next, before we get into the next one, we got to talk about Suter's Sweet Treats because this is her award, right? This is her award here. Coach Ed's Doghouse Award for the worst player of the year, given to the biggest disappointment or the worst player on the team. The most anticipated award, sponsored by Suter's Sweet Treats. You got to check them out. Use the discount code EDPOD.
I love that.
Can you pause that? Can you put it up and pause it?
I should have made it a video so it would have stayed longer, but we got to figure that out for next time. But I'll post it for sure.
Oh man, it's great. So yeah, Coach Ed's Doghouse Award. Suter's Sweet Treats. He loves their cookies. We all do. You got to go on there and buy them. I was actually going to place an order soon. I was thinking I want to just, all these cookies with the icing and stuff, they're really good. But it just makes me thinking, if those cookies are that good, imagine how good like her chocolate chip cookies are. Like just ordering just like plain chocolate chip cookies, they're probably like top. Yeah. I haven't had one yet, right? So I'm going to place an order with her on that. But yeah, definitely check them out. SutersSweetTreats.net. Use code EDPOD23, get 10% off your order plus a free Coach Ed's Doghouse cookie. Definitely the best cookie of them all. All right.
Since I don't have a lifeline to Meg, I had a nice cookie out east when we went out east. It was called a cowboy cookie. It was an oatmeal cookie with chocolate chips and cashews in it. That's my request. Of course you had a
cowboy cookie.
Well, they called it that, and I tried it.
He's like, "Oh, cowboy cookie! I gotta buy this."
I'm a cowboy.
It was like this big.
Wow. Well, Meg, you got another assignment there.
Remember the thing Theo got you. Don't be all hat and no cowboy, right?
There you go.
All right, Coach Ed, it's your award, so you're gonna lead us off on this, or should we end with Coach?
Do you really want to know?
I think we should lead off with Coach. So last year, Coach Ed took Filip Chytil. The year before that, he took Pavel Buchnevich. Crazy picks. Who you got this year, Coach, for your Doghouse biggest disappointment or worst player?
It was a tough one. I mean, I got to give it to your boy Heats. I'm just not a fan of his. I'm not a fan of his play. I know he put up the 25 goals. He had some key goals here and there, but I just don't see his play. I don't see him as a integral part of the team in the future, personally. That's it.
Okay. So the 23-year-old homegrown center who scored 22 goals this year and signed a 4-year extension under market value is your Doghouse pick. Got it. All right, Mike. Last year,
as long as we're clear on that.
As long as we have the facts on the table.
Like, what am I supposed to say to that, right? All right, Mike. Last year you didn't participate, unfortunately, but the year before that you picked Tony DeAngelo for his temper tantrum that got him booted off the team. Who you got this year as your Doghouse pick?
Another person that didn't end the season as a Ranger. I'm giving it to Vitaly Kravtsov. Just wasn't a fan of him. Didn't work out. Actually, I was a fan of him. I was hopeful, but didn't work out. And I didn't know who else to put in this award. So Kravtsov for me.
Yeah, I thought for sure Coach was going to put Kravtsov in. I thought it was a no-brainer, right? And he goes to Chytil.
Well, I mean, I thought it had to be a guy who finished on the Rangers, not a guy who went back to Russia again.
Okay, even if that's the case, you put in Chytil over Harper.
I have no problem with Ben Harper. He's not in my doghouse. The guy plays to his ability. I didn't expect Harper to dominate games. I expected him to be a sixth defenseman.
Hold on. Listen to the description of the award. Biggest disappointment, or worst player. So Harper could try 100% and still be the worst player on the team.
I don't think he was the worst player on the team.
I'm just saying. Anyway, Little Ed. Last year you put Capo Caco in the doghouse. The year before that, Brett Howden, Stanley Cup Finals star. Brett Howden was in your doghouse in 2020, 2021. Who you got this year in the doghouse?
Well, Howden is turned into a better player. Kako didn't take the step that we wanted him to take, but I think he took a step. So this year, I'm going to give it to Laffy. You know, we all thought this year he was going to take a big step. I mean, not have a breakout year necessarily, but do a lot better, especially after the playoffs last year. And he kind of just fell flat again. I mean, I love him as a player. He shows glimpses of his skill, of his abilities, and hard work and everything, but he's just not even close to that number one overall pick. I mean, we all know he's not going to be the Jack Hughes or the Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews, but he's just nowhere near where he needs to be. Yeah, but I still think he'll get there. I don't want to give up on him.
Yeah, I mean, I also took Laffy. It's interesting because I was looking back at the awards, and Laffy got a lot of like key contributor and, you know, just a lot of awards like that. It's like you're saying, it's not an effort issue. Like this isn't like, oh, Laffy's a disappointment because he doesn't try hard. He's always giving 100%. I feel that way, at least as a fan. But yeah, I mean, he's just got to do better. I was going to give it to Kravtsov. I didn't want to tee up Coach Ed too much, so I avoided it. But so last year I took Georgiev. I just want to point out he goes to the Stanley Cup champions and loses in the first round. Just throwing that out there.
But he won 41 games.
Whatever. He's on the Stanley Cup champions. I could have won
41 games. They didn't have the same team.
He's trash. He'll be out of the league in a few years. And then Brett Howden, I took the year before that. He's in the Stanley Cup finals right now against Mark Stahl. What a finals matchup of just Rangers Twitter is just loving the Mark Stahl versus Brett Howden finals match. I feel like every year the worst Ranger in the past 3 years leaves and goes to a team that goes to the Stanley Cup finals. Jack Johnson, right, Coach? Is in the finals. Everyone complained about him.
Don't put Mark Stahl in the same conversation as Jack Johnson.
Well, Mark Stahl got run out of town. I mean, let's be honest. Like, he got run out of town. Yeah. His play towards the end of his contract, he was one of the worst.
It was a little rough.
Yeah.
It was a little rough.
I mean, he was a great Ranger for the earlier years, but he was run out of town at the end.
If he never, I mean, we say it all the time, but if he never got injured, he would have been completely different.
Agreed. But anyway, look, I went with Laffy also for all the reasons you said. I'm not going to waste time repeating them. I expect bigger things from him. I expect a good offseason of hard work, you know, and I want to see the commitment to being a better player, and I want to see the opportunity given to him early and let him, you know, sink or swim. And that's it. Enough already. But all right. So being that we talked about Laffy, let's do a quick stay or go. All right. So we got a couple of pending free agents here. There's 7. 2 of them are restricted free agents and 5 unrestricted free agents. So, Coach Ed, here's how the game works, okay? The projected cap hit right now as it stands with the Rangers is $71,737,083. All right, so call it $71 million, all right? The projected cap space going into the year, if it's an $83.5 million cap, would be $11.7 million. So you got $11.7 million to spend. I gave you some projected contracts. You got to pick stay or go. Yes, you can go over the $11 million, but you got to tell me who you're trading. I got to know. And we know it's going to be Hedel. You're going to clear 4.4 on the Hedel trade. But all right. So we'll start with Alexis Lafreniere, restricted free agent, just finished his entry-level contract. Projected bridge deal, 2 years. A little more than Capo Caco got, maybe somewhere between 2.3 and 2.6 million. Coach, stay or go?
Stay.
Yeah, I think stay for sure. I think, you know, you give Laffy another couple years to develop. Little Ed, anything different there?
No, I just said before I'm not going to give up on him yet. Bridge deal him like Kako. Hopefully the cap goes up. Hopefully he breaks out, and hopefully we have a bad problem in the future.
Mikey, same?
Absolutely.
So no one here wants to trade him. There are Ranger fans out there who do want to trade him. I read Vancouver has some interest. Curious on this one. What if a team like Montreal gives him an offer sheet? What if Montreal comes in and gives him like 1 year, $6 million? What do you do?
That's tough.
It is tough.
I don't think he'd
It's
do it.
not gonna happen. Montreal's not gonna do that.
I don't think so.
No.
They wouldn't even have the or the Rangers wouldn't have the space.
Yeah, I don't know. The Rangers would be kind of screwed if they tried that. They did it with, remember, Carolina stole Jesperi Kotkaniemi that way, giving a short-term big money deal and then re-signing him to a lower money deal. And Carolina and Montreal also did try that on Sebastian Aho. So I mean, it's possible, but we'll see. All right, Keandre Miller, restricted free agent, just finished his entry-level deal. He's projected on a bridge deal, 2 to 3 years, between 3.5 and 4.5 million on an annual average value. Noah Dobson, the comparable with the Islanders, got 3 years, $4 million per. I think that's a safe number to predict. Mikey, stay or go, Keandre?
Absolutely stay. Whatever you got to do to stay.
Yeah, I agree. They got to keep Keandre. I would try to lock him up longer, but it doesn't look like they're going to have the space. I might try to move somebody to give him like a 7-year deal, but he's got to want to sign that. I think with the cap going up, he might want a short deal anyway. Coach, Keandre, 2 to 3 years at that number.
Definitely keep him.
Little Ed, same.
Yeah, you got to keep him. I agree with you. I would lock him up long term. I think it's pretty much inevitable that he's going to be a phenomenal player. So I think it's low risk.
Yeah, so everyone's keeping Laffy and Miller, and we're down to about $5 million in cap space with those two signings. All right, unrestricted free agents. We're going to go a little out of order here, just confuse Coach. We're going to start with Yaroslav Halak.
You just want me to shuffle the paper. And then you say, what are you shuffling the paper for?
Yaroslav Halak. Projected. This is just natural banter, too, guys. This is what it's like on a Saturday afternoon at Coach Ed's house. It's not even like this isn't even planned crap. All right, so Yaroslav Halak, projected contract, same as this year, 1 year, between 1 and 1.5 million. Stay or go, Coach?
I mean, I keep him. I don't see him giving up. He's going for that. What was he going for? 300 wins or 200 wins they were talking about? I think he has some. I think he has still that competitive nature. I think he's got the skill. I didn't see him slowing down much. He made played some very good games, like Eddie was saying before. I'd give him the $1.5 million instead of searching for another and taking a chance if the guy's going to work out.
Mikey?
I say stay, but it's got to be closer to just 1 than 1.5. You got to save some money somewhere, and 500,000 down the line counts.
Yeah, I don't really want to kick him out of town or anything, but I think they got to go minimum contract on a backup goalie. So I would want to keep him, but he's not going to want a minimum deal most likely. So I say no at that price. They're going to be squeezed.
What's the minimum deal?
775,000.
It's that much. 250,000 is putting you over the edge.
It could. I mean, it's that tight. Honestly, remember they got to carry a spare forward and a spare defenseman at some point. They can't just have, you got to find that money somewhere. It's like guys like Brodzinski and Lecision and these guys Harper and VC. They have value because they could be spares. They could play roles on the team and at minimum contracts. I think the backup goalie spot might be one they got to do the same with. Little Ed, what about you?
I agree with you. I mean, it would suck to see him go. So absolute minimum would be $1 million per year. Maybe he does like something like 950 or 925. You never know. Isn't there a Isn't there a minimum for veterans though, or is that different league?
775.
Oh, that's the
You're
minimum
thinking-
for a veteran.
Thinking NBA.
Yeah. What's the minimum for a rookie then? Just
It's the same.
775.
Minimum contract is 775. The maximum on last year was 750. This year it's 775. Maximum on an entry level deal is what you're thinking of. You're capped at this year 950. So last year was 925. But anyway, there's no minimum. There's no veterans minimum or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think giving him 775 would be a slap in the face. So you got to go at least 900. But I mean, I guess if I have to say yes or no, I got to go with no at that price.
It's tough. It's tough because we're cap crunched.
What are the other options, though? I know we'll talk about this more, but Garand, you think they really will call him up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they'd probably try to sign some other veteran like him.
What about Hugo?
Or a guy. Oh God. Hugo.
What about what's his name? What about what's his name?
Louis
the
Domingue.
guy from Pittsburgh. Yeah, Louis Domingue.
Could be Louis Domingue. He makes that money. Could be a guy like Nedeljkovic from Carolina, 27, 28-year-old guy who's getting, having a tough run of it. Let Benoit Allaire play around and see if they can fix him. Who knows? But it's tough. It's not like I want Halak to go. I just think they need to save that money and spend it elsewhere. Which brings us to our next guy, Tyler Mott. 2 years in a row, Rangers traded for Tyler Mott at the trade deadline. They clearly love his style of play. I know we all do. He's probably looking at a deal like 3 years at $1 to $1.5 million. I mean, last year he waited, didn't get signed till the end of the offseason, got 1.2 for 1 year. So I think, a nice deal with a little term can keep Tyler around. 1 to 1.5, coach. Are you going to commit to him in that? I mean, it's tough.
Coach?
Oh,
did you not hear me?
No, because my thing it went a little blurry. I'm going to keep him. I'm saying yes.
Yeah,
he's definitely a valuable fourth liner.
Mikey?
It's got to be the rest of these guys just have to be the right price. I mean, I love Tyler Mott. I think 1.5 is a little too high at that price, especially 3 years. But if it's 1.5, I'm out. If it's 1.2 or lower, I'm in. But
I'd like to see what he's got for a full season. We haven't seen him for a full season,
Yeah.
Well, if we don't sign him, we could just trade for him at the deadline. So, Little Ed. Anyway, Little Ed, stay or go on Tyler Mott at that price point.
I think I'm running out of space here, but I got to go with stay for him. I mean, I guess I said Halak's got to go, so that would be his contract. But like Coach, I mean, that's a perfect example. Like giving Mott the difference between 1 and 1.5, like that's just a big difference for him, especially in a tax state. So I got to go with stay. I'd like to see him for a full season. I think he's definitely our style of player, me and Coach Ed, and I think he'll do well if he's here for a full season. He's a little accident prone or injury prone, so that worries me a little bit, but he always bounces back. It's not like he's ever out for a long time, knock on wood. So he's definitely a little bit of a warrior like Lindgren.
I would try to keep him. I would give him term. Honestly, they could probably go longer in the years, like 5 or 6, and keep that AAV down as much as possible. I don't care. Like what's the minimum salary going to be in 4 years? Is it $900K, and he'll be making 1.2, like whatever. I agree with Mikey. If the average annual value is like 1.2 or lower, I'm in on Mott. I would love to keep him, and you make it work around that. You could always trade that contract too, so it's not like they're locked into him forever if they need it in future seasons. All right, that brings us to Nico Mikkola, projected probably outside the Rangers price range here. 3 years, $2 to $3 million AAV. Solid 6 defenseman for the Rangers. Could probably play on a second pair on a mediocre or bad team. Little Ed, Nico Mikkola at that price point, 3 years, $2 to $3 million.
I love the way he plays, but I just don't think he fits in at that price point, especially being the 3rd or the 6th defenseman. I think at that point they got to take a chance on one of their farm guys for the season, and then kind of trade for somebody at the deadline like they did last year.
Yeah,
It's just too much money to tie up on the sixth defenseman, unfortunately.
I like that move. I'd probably do that. Start with Jones, see if he developed. If not, make a trade.
Forget Jones.
Well, maybe they trade Jones, and if not Jones, Robertson or some other equivalent
project. If Jones has a good season, especially with Schneider, they're comfortable together. If he has a good regular season, he'll be a great trade chip.
I'm warming up to Jones. I'm warming up to the idea of Jones because he can move the puck and he can skate. And I'm watching these games, and that's all these defensemen move the puck well. Look at Florida. Their Ds skate really well. They transition the puck well. So I'm warming up to it.
And they hit.
Not all of them. I mean, not all of them.
They hit.
I get it. You don't need 6 defensemen that hit, though. That are big hitters.
We don't have 6. We don't have 6.
Oh, we got
Lindgren and Schneider.
That's 3.
That's what we got. Yeah, that's 3 out of 6. And if we get rid of Nico and put Jones, that's 3 out of 6.
In the playoffs, in the Cup final, you need 6 defensemen hitting.
Well, Rangers will not have that until for the next 10 years.
At least 5.
At least 5. Fox has to be the only one.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if they start with Jones, it doesn't mean he ends the season in that spot.
And you need the size.
I think you can start with
size.
He played well. He played well in that Hartford game that I went to, the playoff game. He could move, he could skate, but he wasn't getting knocked around. But he also wasn't knocking anybody around. So he kind of gets lost in that aspect. It's tough.
Wonder if they go with Libor Hayek, huh? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I'm out. I'm out on Mikkola at that price too. I like Mikkola, but yeah, you can't spend that money on a third pair. Coach, what about you? Did you say it already?
I say sign him at 2.5.
All right. Are you out of cap space? You think he's out of cap space, right?
Well, he traded Hedel, so he probably has
No,
I
didn't trade Hedel. I didn't say Hedel.
You've signed everybody so far.
Yeah.
Wait, so you signed Halak, you signed Mott, and you signed Mikkola?
I signed everybody.
And Miller.
So you're out of caps? That's $5 million. So
I have my number. I have my numbers added up. We didn't get to the trade yet.
Oh, okay. Mikey, Mikkola.
I'm out.
All right, Mikey's out. All right, that brings us to Vladimir Tarasenko, the tank. Projected, from what I'm seeing out there, a 5-year deal at $7 million a year. I was hoping that it would be a little bit lower. They could find a way to squeeze him in, but he's too good of a player. 5 years, $7 million a year in order to keep Tarasenko. If they sign Miller and Laffy, they are going to have to move somebody. So we're going to start, because I'm just curious as hell, with Coach Ed, who is out of cap space. What are you doing with Tarasenko?
You even have to ask me?
You signing him?
I'm signing him.
All right. So he's signing Tarasenko.
He's a Ranger.
You're $7 million over the cap, at least. How much over the cap are you? You have your numbers there. I
don't have each guy added up that I picked so far. But my total over the cap when I'm done is what do we have? 11. I'm 12 over the cap.
So what does that mean?
That's Artemi Panarin.
There you go.
That's who you're trading?
I take all these guys on the page, these 2 pages, and get rid of him. They're not going to win it with him playing like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, we'll get there.
All right. Well,
we're jumping the gun.
All right.
You asked
me.
Tarasenko, 5 years, $7 million. You're signing him there, or are you squeezing him a little?
Well, if you could squeeze him, you could squeeze him. But I would sign him. I love his all-around game. I talked about it too many times.
I also love Tarasenko. I would love to keep Tarasenko. I don't know if they can at that price. I mean, if he's willing to sign like 3 or 4 years at like $5 million, I think you start moving things around. Maybe you move a Gaudreau and, you start thinking about moving other guys. But I just don't see that price point working out. And it'll be hard to move years into that deal when he's older. It's too risky. Mikey, Stay or go on Tarasenko at that price.
At that price, go. But as you said, if he come down a little bit, I think Drury should do anything he can to sign him.
Yeah, you got to
Like you
think
said,
the
I
Russian
think-
guys like being in New York, right? I mean, you got to try and push that to get a discount. You have to. They love New York, don't they? I know they do. I mean,
100%. Brighton Beach.
yeah, it's a big Russian community. There's very few cities, I think, the NHL cities that have like big Russian communities. Maybe there's like 5 total, I was reading. So, you know, got to try and sell that on the player, and it's tough. I mean, anyway. So you say no at that price, Mikey. You're flush with cap space. Unlike Coach. Mikey's ready to make a splash.
Mikey's accruing the cap space for the trade deadline.
For the deadline.
Still one more player.
Stay or go, little Ed.
At that price point, you have to say go. It's almost impossible for that to happen. Or one of the cities with a Russian community, Boston. You could shout out to Oscar over at Pro Stitch. He sent me Tarasenko's story of his sons on the ice at Harvard University. So he might be chit-chatting with Boston's management up there. So,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Tarasenko's got a son in college?
No, his 2 little sons, they were just at the rink for some reason.
His first son was born when he was 13 years old.
What?
Tarasenko was 13 years old when he had his first son. His son's now in college. No,
Oh, I thought you were serious. I was like, I mean, you never know. Like, what?
Oh my God.
I mean,
No, that's not serious.
all right. Either way,
Cut that. That's too embarrassing.
Wait. That could just mean he's an Adam Fox fan. Isn't Fox? Who's a Harvard guy?
VC Fox, right?
Yeah, maybe
He's
just
Harvard.
an Adam. Maybe he just got him up there, as alumni.
maybe him and Fox just went on a vacation together. Tarasenko and Fox.
Yeah, they took a
Never
little
know.
alumni trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. I mean, it just doesn't fit in. If they could work some magic, like you said, I mean, there was rumblings of trading Goudreau and things like that. Great, yeah, for sure. He brings the leadership. He's almost like another coach on the bench. We saw that all, since they got him, since the deadline. I would love to keep him, but at $7 million, that's too much dollars being spent in the top 6.
It's tough. All right. Well, that brings us to our final UFA. Patrick Kane undergoing reconstructive hip surgery. He's out, till at least November. I would guess probably until the spring, early spring, he's going to be out. What's he going to sign? I mean, the projections are tough right now. Is he going to sign a 1-year deal with a team that he wants to go to and knowing he'll be back to the playoffs, sitting on LTIR and then just kind of jumping in as a mercenary at the end of the year? Or does he want a little bit of security because he doesn't know how he's going to recover from that injury? I'm not sure. I've seen projections both ways. So, giving you guys the options here, 1 year, like $2.5 million, like Bergeron last year to recover from his injury, or does he want, if he wants term, you're looking more probably like $5 or $6 million a year. Coach, are you signing Patrick Kane?
Well, what's the deal if he goes on a long-term IR as far as the cap hit? That could change my whole trade situation.
Long-term IR is a little bit confusing. So on long-term IR, you don't accrue any cap space. So it's not like putting Kane on long-term injured reserve means that the Rangers are going to start accruing cap space to fit him in later. When he's healthy, his full cap hit needs to fit onto the roster, right? So that's a little difficult. So what it does is it allows the team to spend over the cap to the value of that injured player. So let's say, for example, Patrick Kane makes $3 million and goes on long-term injured reserve. The Rangers can then spend up to $3 million over the cap, and with including Kane's $3 million. So they have $83.5 million of all the other players on their roster. Kane can go $3 million over, and they're fine. But once Kane's healthy, guess what? You got to clear $3 million to fit Kane in. So they'd have to make a move once Kane is ready to be activated if they were to go that route. So it's a little bit confusing. It's not like you could just hide cap space by doing it, but Tampa was able to take advantage of it with Kucherov because they spent right up to the cap, and Kucherov didn't come back until the playoffs. He didn't play in the regular season, and there's no salary cap in the playoffs. So if Patrick Kane wants to sit out for the whole regular season, then sure, we can spend, then we can hide his cap hit. But it's going to be tough. Hope that explained it, Coach, and didn't hurt your brain too much.
No, that's pretty clear, but I'm going to sign him anyway.
To what?
3 years, 5.5.
And then how are you clearing cap
I
space?
gotta see your team. Yeah.
I'm getting rid of Panarin.
This is what I'm gonna do when we get off this pod.
I say get rid of Panarin or I get rid of Hedel, Kako, and I got to figure out something else.
Hold on, no, I'll tell you, Coach. This is what I'm gonna do for you. So for next episode, you can fill us in. You got Kane at 3 years, 5.5.
I'm
got
up to 23.5.
Tarasenko at what? 5x7?
Yeah.
Mott, you signed for what? 1.5, or did you sign him for cheaper?
I think I went with 1.5.
Okay, Halak.
1.
Laffy.
2.5.
Miller.
4.
Mikula.
2.5.
All right. So I'm going to go on Cap Friendly after this episode, and I'm going to sign all those guys to that amount. And I'm going to send it to you, and then you're going to see it'll tell you how much over the cap you are and how much everybody makes, and you'll tell me who you're trading to clear that cap space.
Okay.
All right. All right.
It'd be fun.
I'm sure I got to see this, and I want you to tell the fans next episode.
All right, but
All
we
right.
have to assume that the no trade clause does that the trade is going to happen that I want.
Right.
You can't say if I say they got to trade Panarin, you can't say, well, he's got to okay it. We're going to assume it's going to happen somewhere.
Right, you're assuming Panarin would okay a trade, but you're going to need more than just Panarin. That's what I'm saying, based on these numbers.
All right, well then I'll figure it out. Send me that info.
I will. All right,
shoot me over that info.
Kane at 3 years,
Fax it.
I'm Drury, and you're my guy that figures it all out.
Little Ed, Patty Kane, your boy. What are you doing with Patty Kane if you're the Rangers?
You got a long-term IR for 2 years at 2.5.
2 years, 2.5, and you're putting him on LTIR this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he wants to stay in New York. I think he made enough money for himself. Like you were saying last episode, he's going to want his dad to be able to come see him play at a reasonable distance, whatever. And I think he always wanted to be a Ranger. And I think he's going to sign for a very reasonable amount to make that happen.
Yeah, I got the same on Patty Kane if it's a 1-year deal, not 2. I'll give him a 1-year deal, and I'll figure out when his contract is coming off LTIR, what to do with the cap at that point if they need to make cap space. But this shouldn't be too much over the cap if he takes like a Bergeron deal. If he wants multiple years or $5-6 million, like bye-bye.
What happens if he comes back just for the playoffs?
Then it doesn't count against the cap.
Yeah, see, I have a feeling that I don't want to say people are underselling this surgery, but I don't think he's going to be out for 6 months. I think it's going to be longer than that.
Well, I'm
not
saying
there's going to be any delays or anything like that. But
think about Patrick Kane.
He's going to take his time. There's no reason for him to rush back into the league.
Right, he's 35 years old. He's got 3 Stanley Cups, Conn Smythe Trophy, gold medal, right? All this shenanigans, and he wants to be a Ranger.
Medal, does he?
He doesn't have a gold medal. I thought he did.
Silver medal.
So he's got all that. He wants to win a cup. He wants to be a Ranger. Well, Patty, go rehab until April. I'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing, but I don't know. It's tough because you can't lie.
Imagine
but
like
if he's genuinely
fresh.
rehab.
Yeah. What's his name?
Laser.
Kucherov did it. Like, give me a break.
I know. Well, as soon as the Rangers do it, the league will change the rules. You know how it works.
Oh, exactly.
Mike, Patty Kane.
Got to be a 1-year deal for me. 1-year deal, 2.5, all the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you.
Mikey's salary caps, throwing the numbers around.
Mike's big on the cap. Mike's got a lot of cap space. He's got a lot of cap space. He's got everybody on the low end. It's got to be on the low end. He's just sitting there with like 3 or 4 million right now with the full roster.
He's just at the desk with the pinky ring.
He's got Johnny Brodzinski on the 4th line with Jake Lecision. Oh man, love it. No. All right, fun. So I'm gonna send Coach your cap friendly. I would love to see everybody's, but I didn't get your exact numbers except Coach's. But that might be a fun little thing to look at going into next episode. So maybe text me your exact numbers for each player, and I'll send you.
And you got to put in Will Cooley's number, Othman's number. He'll be entry level. What would Othman be if he makes the team?
Othman's at 925.
He's signed for 925 already?
No, he's at 863. Sorry, 863, and Cooley's at 828. So those are low. And we got Othman
was making money, and he's not making money playing in juniors.
Well, he is, but not from the Rangers. So the Rangers, his contract will slide because he was under 20 years old, and he didn't play professionally. So he's got 3 years at 863. That's going to be huge. And then Cooley, 2 years left at 828 because he played pro this year. So that counted. Right. So, Coach, I'm not going to put them on yet. You're gonna have to decide. I'm just going to show you what your roster looks like with everyone you signed, and you got to make those trades, and then you got to figure out who's taking their spots. And
that's fine. When's the next episode? How much time do I have?
You got at least a week. Don't worry, at least a week. But all right, that was fun. So, look, next episode.
He's gonna be calling Uncle Rob. All right, Rob, I got to move Panarin. What do you think?
I want to know more than just. I want to know more than just I'm trading Panarin, though. I want you to try and think like I'm trading Panarin for this type of – it doesn't have to be a specific player. But for this, are you taking Cap back in that trade? Are you getting draft picks? Are you getting prospects? What are you doing?
Yeah, we don't have room for Cap. I'll just send me the numbers.
All right, so fans look forward to that. Coach Ed's cap-friendly maybe
just shoot me the info. I want it on my desk by 8 a.m.
I'll get it to you. Don't worry. I'm definitely going to do it. It's going to be hilarious. So we got the off-season preview coming up, NHL draft coming up, free agency.
Wait a minute.
In a month.
Wait. Can you do it on an Excel spreadsheet so as I move guys around, it automatically totals and stuff?
I could. That's a little bit more work than just doing it on Cap Friendly.
Well, that would be a better way. It's the way we have it going
I'll tell you what,
every year.
I'll tell you what. I can give you – well,
you know what I mean? We can have that going forward.
We do it every year anyway. What I can do for you is I can send you by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. like you requested, the cap friendly version. And then maybe by the weekend or something, I'll give you the Excel spreadsheet.
Otherwise, I got to keep adding numbers and stuff.
Oh, my God. All right. Anyway, so we got the offseason preview coming up.
Vegas up 2-1, 5 minutes to go.
Oh boy! So yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals might be over soon, and then we'll jump right into the offseason. Hopefully, by next episode, we have a head coach. We can talk. Hopefully, the finals are still going on. I don't know anyone who's rooting for the Vegas Golden Knights right now. And Eddie's on Instagram during the episode. That's how much entertaining I'm being right now.
Looking for news, making sure nothing's going on.
Oh, by the way, the Rangers hired a head coach.
Yeah. We're not signing off because they're going to announce it tomorrow morning.
Sure. But anyway, boys, otherwise, good episode. I can't wait for, the draft and the offseason to see what the team's going to look like and the coach and everything. Like, it feels a little bit like everything's in flux with this organization right now. It's a little stressful, but I just can't wait for hockey to come back and to have a little more clarity on what we're going to see next year. So enjoy the Stanley Cup Finals. Thank you to all our sponsors and partners out there. Eddie's racking up these sponsors right now. The Tattoo Cream and
Shank It Golf.
Yeah, we
Shank It Golf.
He's the Shank It Golf also.
Yeah, Shank It Golf,
Yeah.
another one.
Maybe you could get a little
apparel
3M sandpaper,
company.
3M sandpaper sponsor.
What are you scratching his leg? That's what that is. That's so loud. My God. It sounds like you're sanding a table.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing will ever be like episode 3, where Coach Ed was like eating a bowl of cereal in a ceramic bowl.
I was not.
No, what was he eating out of the ceramic bowl? Remember, you were like, you're eating X out of a ceramic bowl. I can't remember what it was.
It was like cashews or
It
something.
was ice cream. It had to have been ice cream.
No, it was something that like clings against the bowl, like cling, cling, cling.
I think it was ice cream.
I'm telling you.
He had the
No, I'm gonna go back.
He had a spoon with
Wasn't it
ceramic
pudding
bowl.
or something?
No, we got to tell our boy to go back and find it. It's like it's title. It's in the title of the episode. Yeah, it's like in the title.
Joey the historian.
I'm gonna find it. Anyway, go ahead. Talk about Shank It Golf, Ed. You were trying to.
Sorry, bud.
No, I was getting like a delay and like weird jumping, so I didn't want to interrupt you guys. But yeah, Shank It Golf. They got some funny hats, some cool shirts, a little out of the ordinary to bring up your flair on the golf course. What else they got, Mikey? Some gloves.
Some nice gloves, some bucket hats.
Yeah, bucket hats, regular hats, polos. And I think they had some head covers and things like that. So yeah, head over to shankitgolf.com. The website's here on YouTube. And you could always just use promo code EDPOD23 for this one. So yeah, they have a lot of good polos and not t-shirts, hats with some funny sayings on them that some of them we can repeat, some of them we can't. But definitely go check it out. It's really funny. And definitely get some eyes on you on the golf course to make up for your poor game. So we're all trying to have fun out there on the course. So have some fun this summer with some Shank It Golf apparel. And don't forget to use that promo code.
A lot of predictable things in this episode. Coach Ed putting Heedle in the doghouse, signing every single free agent. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, all right.
By the way, it was episode 9, chocolate pudding in a ceramic bowl.
Chocolate pudding in a ceramic bowl. Insane. When
we
is
might have to
Father's
go
Day,
back
by
to
the way?
naming the episodes after things like that. Next Sunday.
Yeah, that was really fun to do that. It's next Sunday, right? Father's Day.
We got a nice
Yeah.
we got a nice gift for Coach Ed coming from the boys at the podcast.
I got a box of crap I got to send you guys, some of which includes Coach Ed's Father's Day gift.
And
I gotta
Christmas
ship that
gift
out.
and what
A
else?
box
Chris-
of crap.
It's literally like getting to the point where it is now a box of crap. It's got like wrapped gifts, unwrapped gifts. What's it called? What's that stuff called? The bags of air to like preserve, so things don't break. Packaging.
Bubble wrap.
No, it's not even bubble wrap. It's like those bags of air they call them.
Big ones, yeah.
It's turning into a box of crap, and I'm going to ship it out soon. But yeah, Father's Day. So everyone, make sure you wish Coach Ed a happy Father's Day when Father's Day comes around. But that's not this Sunday, next Sunday, right? Yeah.
When are you
Yes.
going to
So they
ship
got
that out?
I don't know, probably next week.
I mean, there's a good chance
I've been saying that every week though.
We're gonna come down to Florida in July, so
Oh, so maybe I'll hold it and you can just take it all back. Pack it in your carry-on. All right, well, let me know. We'll talk about that. But fans, until next week, enjoy the Stanley Cup Finals, some stress-free hockey, and we will be back to talk a little more about the Rangers head coach search, etc., and the offseason. Till then,
Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Thank you, fans. Love you guys.
take us
Finally
out,
put a
Mike.
bow on that season.
Love you.